All right, fine. I'll review Ahsoka Part 8. Yeah, it's like I've been stalling because I didn't have the pressure of the next one coming out in a week anymore. But I think I've got to do it eventually, so I'm doing it now. Uh, we open on what do we open on? We open on Thrawn, and Thrawn is getting told by like Enoch, the stormtrooper with the cool like face helmet thing, that they're done packing and they can go now. And Thrawn is like, excellent, but you know how before I said that I was fine with stranding or killing them? Well, now I've decided that I would like to just kill them now. And so he sends out a couple of TIE fighters to get the job done. And and something that I will have a problem with for the whole rest of the episode, they're done packing. So like I said, they could just leave now and strand them, and that would be fine. Work with their goals. But what they could do if they really wanted to kill them, but just wanted to keep their bases covered, was just lift the ship up a little bit off from like the weird platform with the summoning circle or whatever it is on it. Yeah, just lift up a little bit, and then you can't, and then they have no chance of getting on your destroyer. I mean, like, they've got their ship, but you can shoot that down. So, yeah. But they don't do that. Thrawn, the brilliant tactician, doesn't do that. Just, I'm starting to think Dave Filoni hadn't even read Heir to the Empire. I'm starting to think that Dave Filoni isn't a very good writer. Anyway, we cut to Ahsoka's ship with, like, the weird pot of hermit crab things. And Ezra is building a new lightsaber. So that thing that I said that I thought was cool in the last one is gone now. Like the whole Jedi without a lightsaber thing. He's building a new one, and it kind of resembles Kanan's lightsaber, which is pretty neat. And then Ahsoka and Sabine have a little chat, and she asks Sabine if she has been keeping up with her training at all. And Sabine says, and I quote, "I try, I do," and I cringed. I cringed so hard that I almost died. And yeah, there is a justification for like Sabine knowing this line to reference it. It's from Rebels, but I don't care. It's bad, and I don't. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, the TIE fighters attack, and they hit the engine, and so they they do a big thing with the ship where they like turbocharge the engine for a second before just killing it, and it's like the ship with its wings it slices through both the it slices through both the TIE fighters, like the TIE fighters, the very fast and maneuverable ships that could have just swerved out of the way but didn't. Yeah, and then Ahsoka's ship just like plummets to the ground with Sabine and Huyang in it, and I'm just like, oh, okay, they're dead now, right? Like jokingly, because I know they're not, because I know that's how this works. But yeah, like at the speed they were going, they should be toast, but they're not. And also, my dad and I, we've been watching some of this show together, and we also watched like some of The Mandalorian together. And ever since Dad saw the episode of The Mandalorian where like the Razor Crest gets stripped by the Jawas, and then they get their parts back, Mando says something along the lines of, "This'll take days to fix." And my dad, being a retired aircraft mechanic, takes issue with that line. And so now, whenever we see anything basically get totaled in one of these movies or shows, we just say that'll take days to fix. But turns out Ahsoka's ship only takes like hours to fix, if what we see later is any indication. But before we get to that, yeah, so they decide, well, we've got to go on foot, but they've got like the wolves. So Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine ride toward Thrawn's Star Destroyer on the wolves, and as they approach, Thrawn fires on them with the cannons on the Star Destroyer, and I was like, yes, finally, like use your most powerful thing. Oh, also, if I can go back for a second, like if Thrawn really wanted to kill them, like after the two the two TIE fighters and Ahsoka's ship both went down, you know what he should have done? Send in the 6 other TIE fighters that were in the hangar. Clearly, you can see them. Just send those other TIE fighters. They're defenseless now. Gun them down. But he doesn't do that. And instead, like when they approach, he fires the cannons on them. The cannons don't do anything. You know, like never mind that they're leaving massive craters and explosions all over the place. They just don't get hit. Cool. And then they send like their whole legion of stormtroopers into the tunnels to stop them. And Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine all fight them off. And then the witches they raise them up all from the dead, necromancy. And at this time, you know, knowing that simple stabs, slashes, and blaster shots won't kill them, all of the lightsaber-wielding combatants decide not to decapitate and dismember these people for some reason. It's like, it's fine. Like, you're not killing them. They're already dead. And you were fine with killing them before. Just kill them again, but more this time. But they don't. And then, like, Ezra and Sabine... Like, I forget how this happens. Like Ezra and Sabine go ahead, and as Ahsoka stays to deal with something. I don't remember. It's been a week. But anyway, Ahsoka gets into a fight with Morgan Elsbeth, who's been granted like a magic blade, the Blade of Talzin, which is a Clone Wars reference. Because they keep referencing yeah, so she gets the blade, and also... like, she gets to become a real witch, which means her face just gets desaturated. And then, Elsbeth and Ahsoka get into a fight, and all of the zombie stormtroopers just kind of huddle around the fight. And it's like, none of them get involved to help Morgan Elsbeth. And also, like Ahsoka... this isn't really a fair... like, she's got 2 blades. Like, she can just kind of, like, occupy the one blade and then use the other to stab. But she doesn't do that. And the zombie stormtroopers don't do anything to her. Maybe they're just doing her a solid for not dismembering them earlier. It's like, hey, thanks for that. But yeah, Ezra and Sabine... it's like they get into a problem, and Sabine like figures out force pull just in time to grab her lightsaber and stop one of the zombies. And then yeah, it's like, okay, she's got the force now. It's like, never mind that she just like didn't before. All right. And then she and Ezra do a thing where he runs and jumps, and then she force pushes him the rest of the way into the Star Destroyer. Cause yeah, it's like, oh, you did one force pull, and now you're qualified to like shove your friend for like 100 yards. Yeah, and then the Star Destroyer takes off with Ezra on it. Ahsoka and Sabine, like, I think the platform is collapsing, and then Huyang shows up in the ship to grab them. Because the ship's been repaired in the space of just a couple of hours by, I guess, Huyang and these crabs. How do these crabs know how to repair a spaceship? And if they don't, how did Huyang do it all by himself in a couple of hours? It's dumb. It's all dumb. Yeah. It's like, at least in The Mandalorian, with this will take days to fix, it's like the passage of time doesn't matter all that much. You know, like, it can take however long, it's not going to really impact the story that much. But yeah, this. And so Ahsoka and Sabine and go in the ship. Like, they fly up to Thrawn's destroyer as it's about to leave. And he says, he basically says, like, yeah, nope, you lost. I'll see you later. And then jets off. Yeah. And so he leaves them behind. And at the end, we see, like, Ezra take a shuttle to meet up with the home one. And it's like, there's like a bunch of things that are weird about that. Like, how does he know where the home one is? How did he get off of the Star Destroyer? Like, why do they act as if they don't know who he is when he would have had to identify himself on the approach? And it's like, why does he just walk out in the stormtrooper armor and not expect to get shot? Why don't they just shoot him? But it was nice, like, haha, Chopper sees right through this guy's funny. Yeah. And then back on the planet, we see what everyone else is up to. It's like Shin is still with the mercenaries. Balin is he's like standing on a statue of the Mortis gods. I don't know what that means, and we'll probably never figure out what that means, because Ray Stevenson, who did a great job playing Balin Stoll, unfortunately passed away recently. Yeah. And then we cut to Sabine and Ahsoka back with the hermit crabs, and they're like, well, you know, hopefully everything turns out all right. Like, we sent Ezra back, and that, like, isn't that what matters in the end? And then we see Anakin's Force Ghost one more time, and it's like, man, they keep dragging Hayden Christensen back in. And yeah, it's like they can't coast on nostalgia much longer. Like, they're already mining the Rebels nostalgia. And that's, like, only about a decade old at this point. And, like, the only thing past the only stuff that came after the prequels was, like, the sequel trilogy stuff. It's like they're running out of nostalgia. They can't bank on it for that much longer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what misery arises next. So yeah, until next time, whenever that is, this has been me. Goodbye.